Hey everyone, Mr. Sujano here. Welcome to the best gaming, tech, emulation, and open source news channel on YouTube. Let's get started. Alright, we'll kick things off talking about Nintendo 3DS emulation with Citra, and if you use emulation Frontends, you're gonna like this update. So if you head to citra-emu.org and click on download, and then click on manual download, and pick up the latest nightly build. It'll allow you to boot Citra with emulation Frontends. Next up, we're talking about Nintendo Switch emulation on PC with Ryujinx, and Ryujinx also got a brand new update. So as of version 1.1.1019, it allows Crysis Remastered to go in-game. Yes, Ryujinx runs Crysis. Moving on, and we're still talking about Nintendo Switch emulation, but switching over to Yuzu and talking about the paid testing early access version of Yuzu. Now this new feature might get some people in trouble. As of early access 3880, they've added playtime tracking on the game list. You can see how long you've been playing some games for. And the free mainline build also got an update here to 1563. And this fixes audio that would get cut in New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe in the final level. Moving on, and we're talking about a brand new free and open source project available on GitHub that might be extremely exciting to some game developers out there. It's called Unifree, and the whole purpose of it is to migrate Unity projects to other engines. Now, it's worth pointing out that Unifree is currently an early prototype. It's not yet ready for prime time, but it's being actively developed. In terms of game engines it's compatible with, they're planning on Godot and also Unreal. Next up, we're quickly talking about ColecoDS, a Coleco emulator for the Nintendo DS and DSi, and version 8.9 just dropped. Now in this update, they've optimized the Atom driver a little bit and now support 320K discs. There's a slight optimization across the board, resulting in another frame or two of performance. They've improved the speed of blend mode, only using 10% CPU now. And there's also memory optimization to reduce the footprint of the program, resulting in 300K of extra storage. Next up, we're talking about Wii U emulation on PC with Cemu, and Cemu just got a brand new experimental update. So at the time of filming, Cemu 2.0-51 experimental is the latest release, and this release has some optimizations and tweaks. If you are interested in this one, I'll drop a link to the GitHub in the description below. Moving on, and we're talking about a brand new game for the Game Boy Color that just launched a Kickstarter. It's called Aaling the Ghost. It's a story-driven, turn-based RPG, and it's almost met its goal already with 29 days left to go. The lowest tier on this where you actually get something is the ROM Early Access, which is going for about $11 USD, with a delivery date of March 2025. On top of that, there's some other interesting tiers here, like designing a character, designing an enemy, designing a secret area, becoming the game's co-producer, or putting your pet in the game. It looks like someone already did that. Moving on, and we're talking about an extremely rare Sega Genesis or Sega Mega Drive game that's appeared on Yahoo Auctions. It's called Wonder MIDI. I think I said that one right. It was released back in 1992, and a copy in this condition is pretty rare. Unfortunately, but unsurprisingly, this is going for a lot of money. Is it a good game? I would argue no, but at the same time, someone really wants it. If you are curious about it, I'll drop a link to the auction in the description below and feel free to check it out. Moving on, and we're talking about another Game Boy game here. It's called From Below Pocket, and it's up for pre-order for $79.99. If you're a fan of Tetris, you may like this game. If you don't like games like Tetris, you're probably not going to like this game at all. You can also pick up the digital version for $4.95, and that's just downloading the ROM. Moving on, and we're talking about Call of Duty Warzone Caldera, and if you like this game, you're not going to like this news. September 21st is upon us, and the game is officially shutting down. So this is right from their website. As Warzone moves ahead with exciting new experiences to come, Warzone Caldera will shut down on September 21st. All gameplay, player progression, inventories, and online services will expire on that date. Next up, we're talking about Gnome. Not necessarily Gnome, but Gnome. And Gnome 45 has just dropped. There's a whole bunch of improvements and brand new features here, including unified themes, keyboard lighting, and more. It's faster, it's snappier, the file manager is a little bit better. The apps have been overhauled. There's brand new apps. It might be worth checking out if you're into Gnome. Now, as this is a fresh release, expect a few bugs along the way and don't expect things to be perfect yet. If you wanted to see the full changelog, I'll drop a link in the description below. Moving on, and we're talking about Microsoft, and Microsoft appears to be getting more confusing by the day. The other day, Phil Spencer put out a statement that all of the leaked documents might not necessarily be accurate or up to date. And today, we find out that Microsoft may exit the gaming business if Game Pass subscribers off console don't increase enough by 2027. I'll drop a link to this article in the description below. Now, apparently this news was part of the massive leak yesterday, and I might have just missed it because I didn't notice it. I'm just finding out today. Anyways, here it makes absolutely no sense to me. Why would Microsoft buy all of these game companies only to possibly shut down in 2027? It seems counterproductive. Anyways, speaking about Microsoft, next up we're talking about Starfield, and someone has just released a pretty beefy DLSS mod. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link in the description below. There's a ton of options available in this menu. And speaking about DLSS, and speaking about mods, next up we're talking about Baldur's Gate 3, which just received a brand new DLSS mod. If you are curious about this one, I'll drop a link in the description below. Apparently it helps out with CPU optimization in Act 3. And speaking about 3, next up we're talking about Persona 3 Reload, which just received a brand new trailer. I'll drop a link to it in the description below, and feel free to check it out if you're a fan of Persona. And last up here, we're talking about Quake 4 High Def, and this is a brand new update to the High Def mod up to version 3.3. They say it updates Quake 4's graphics, improved 4x texture detail and models, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. They do recommend at least 12 gigs of VRAM. But anyways, that is all I've got for you in this one. Straight to the point, all stuff and no fluff. We talked about a bunch today. Let me know your thoughts about absolutely any of it in the comments below. If you liked this video, leave a like. If you didn't like this video, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, check out my other videos. Don't tempt fate, save your state.